Hello everybody, I'm Barry, and today we have probably my favorite video idea I have ever done, and that is Naruto Uzumaki versus the US military. Now, I know in my last video I said I would do the US military versus Sasuke, but I quickly realized that he has Ameno Tejikara and could just teleport to a different dimension or easily take someone hostage and just ruin the entire thing. So with something like that, I don't want to get too speculative because it could just go haywire so easily. Naruto, on the other hand, is much more cut and dry. He relies on his crazy power and speed, and the US military does the exact same thing, so it's much easier to scale the two. But anyway, with that out of the way, I'm just going to start with scaling Naruto. This is an anime channel after all, so Naruto Uzumaki, obviously everyone knows. If you're watching this, you probably know. He has some insane feats, starting from when he clashed with Sasuke at the Final Valley for the first time, all the way to now, where he is taking out god-tier space aliens with Baryon mode. But I think I want to start with the Hokage version of Naruto. No Baryon mode and no Tak no Jutsu, so all those arguments, just take them out. But he is keeping Kurama, Sage mode, all that normal stuff that he always has. And in this form, with Kurama, his most powerful thing is the Tailed Beast Bomb Rasen Shuriken thing that he used against Sasuke at the end of Shippuden. But even a normal Biju Bomb has been calculated to be around 470 megatons of TNT, which is nothing compared to the gigatons shown by that attack that I just mentioned. And if you don't know what any of that means, a gigaton is 1,000 times a megaton, and a normal Biju Bomb, like I said, 470 megatons. His travel speed is not quite as obvious as this scaling through pixels. Some say it's less than the speed of lightning, while others say it's faster than light, which, if you don't know, those are two different things. But it's obvious from dodging Madara's Light Fang that his reaction speed is around the speed of light. So that's the gist of the basics as far as Naruto goes, but the US military is much more complex. So the US military has about 1.3 million active members, and billions, if not trillions of dollars in equipment. Some of it includes the fighter jets, F-22, F-35, F-15, all the Fs you can think of. The M1 Abrams, that's the main military tank that they use, weighs 70 tons, bulletproof, it's withstood missiles. I mean, like, this thing is a beast. And then the most important thing, I think, at least for this video, the B-83 nuclear bomb. This is the biggest bomb in the US military's possession, and they have around 650 of them. And the bomb is the equivalent of 1.2 megatons of TNT. Now, if you don't have short-term memory loss, you would remember the normal Biju Bomb, not the Rasen Shuriken Biju Bomb or anything like that, just normal Biju Bomb, 470 megatons. Meaning a couple Biju Bombs from like an 8 Tails or something is the equivalent of the US military's entire supply of B-83 nuclear bombs, in terms of megatons at least. Now, obviously this is not a great sign for the US military, because Naruto can do this with his eyes closed in his sleep, and things really only get worse when you stop and think about Naruto's movement speed. Modern fighter jets can hit 1,500 miles an hour, while Naruto is out here dodging light. Literally dodging light. The only advantage really that the military has is its sheer numbers, and you could try to argue that they could surround him until you realize Naruto has this thing called the Shadow Clone. And some people say that Naruto has the ability to create millions of Shadow Clones. So not only would you have the insane power and speed of Naruto, but you would have the numbers to combat the 1.3 million people in the military. And for those of you that are going to argue, he definitely can't make millions of Shadow Clones, sure, I will give it to you. He can at least make a few thousand. And the man has shown that he pretty much has infinite chakra, so making a few thousand clones that are basically on par with him is definitely not a stretch. I'm also assuming that he can gather Sage energy and be in Sage mode and all that stuff on Earth. It would just make the most sense. So with that, and Kurama and his already insane chakra levels as an Uzumaki, there's nothing really the US military can do. Like, he is faster than anything the US has, faster than anything the US military could probably even detect. He's stronger than anything they have, and if he couldn't rival them in numbers, he could definitely make a few thousand, so there's nothing much they could do. So if you were wondering, and you came here to find the answer, does Hokage Naruto lose to the US military? The answer is absolutely not. No. Naruto would probably stomp the US military before they even knew what was going on. I mean, people are debating whether or not Naruto is lightning speed or light speed. Either way, it's faster than anything the US military could really do something about. Just another point, Naruto has been calced to be planetary. There are a few feats that show this, one of them being that he defeats Toneri in the last, who literally cut the moon in half. And while that feat in itself is not necessarily planetary, he is obviously much stronger than Toneri was, and is even stronger now as Hokage. So there's nothing much that you could say to defend the US military in this situation. But I do want to put some respect on the US military, so I would like to switch Hokage Naruto out with the Naruto that fought Pain. I was going to do the current Naruto without Kurama, but we don't really know much about him, so I'm just going to leave it there and focus on the one we know a lot about, which is, like I said, the one that fought Pain. And the main feat I'll be talking about is Naruto's speed against Pain, because at this point Naruto does not have the infinite chakra that he has with Kurama, and I am assuming that he does not use Kurama. I know he does in the show, but I'm just taking Kurama out of the situation, because with him, Naruto stomps anything on this planet. So, he has limited chakra, can only do a certain amount of Rasen Shurikens. I believe it was 2 per clone, and he had 3 clones. And even if these were multiple times a nuclear bomb, which I don't believe anyone has calculated them to be that, he still wouldn't be able to take out the entirety of the US military. They're not all just going to sit in a pile for Naruto to throw a Rasen Shuriken at. There will be people in the sky, people in the sea, people watching him at all points in time. So the main thing is, could Naruto be hit? And with this calc I am about to say, it doesn't seem like he could. Naruto's attack speed was calced to be over 400,000 miles an hour, which sounds ridiculous if you take it really literally. Like, these calcs are made by counting pixels and converting it to real life statistics. So if Naruto could just attack at 400,000 miles an hour and continuously do that, it's obvious the US military could do absolutely nothing about it. And that was my argument for Hokage Naruto. Like, he could do that. He has infinite chakra, quite literally infinite chakra. But here, if you ask me, I'm going to make the first assumption of this video and say that Naruto at some point would run out of chakra and most likely be taken out by the US military, because even if he runs, there are people everywhere that would want Naruto and want to bring him back to the US military, because someone of Naruto's strength and speed and all that would be the primary target for pretty much everyone on the planet. Now, I could definitely understand if you were going to argue that Naruto would attack real quick, get out of there at 400,000 miles an hour, and really never be seen until he wants to attack again, which could be possible, but like I said, there are people everywhere. And with the way that the US military finds people, I would not be surprised if they found Naruto Uzumaki. But I don't think the US military would have it easy at all. Naruto would easily massacre whatever he wanted until he would get caught. Probably whole platoons of soldiers. He would take out fighter jets, navy, ships. I mean, whatever he wanted, he could take out until he ran out of chakra and was eventually found. And talking about anything after that, like how they would detain him and how they would keep him confined, is way too much, because they probably couldn't keep him confined, if I'm being completely honest. Once he builds up chakra, he's probably getting out. But at the end of the day, I think Naruto would run out of chakra and the military would sort of win. But I don't really think Naruto could be killed. We've seen that with Kurama inside of him, he could not die. But if we're taking out Kurama completely, then they would probably just kill him. And yeah, that's pretty much the strongest version of Naruto that I would really want to talk about. Even like KCM1 Naruto, he's destroying anything on this planet. Like, even the Naruto that fights Pain, like I've been saying, it's debatable. It's completely debatable. So for all of you professional calcers, scientists, and I don't know, people in the military, please comment below what you think. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.